So for the different programs that you're doing and the different content you're creating, who do you think of as being your audience?
I think it differs dramatically. You know, the way I present, and you can actually go to my website, which is simransethi.com, and see some of the work I've done. I did a series of stories on Greensburg, Kansas, which is a town a year and a half ago was wiped out by a tornado. It's a community, a small community, predominantly agricultural in western Kansas. And what we looked at was kind of how a community was able to rebuild from the ground up, and a community that would not have identified itself as green has become in the media known as one of the most, as one of the greenest communities in the country. So I did it in 2 different venues. I did it on Sundance Channel, and I did a story for CNBC. And you can see how those stories are very different, because my highest purpose was really trying to serve my audience. So the way I tell the story on CNBC is to look at business and how business was really a catalyst for greening the city as it's rebuilding, whereas the story for Sundance was focused on, I think, community buy-in and looking at individuals.
So my takeaway from what you just said is, for the CNBC audience, which is more interested in business and finance, you took that story in more of a business-oriented direction.
Yeah.
And then for the Sundance Channel, where people are more interested perhaps in global issues and people issues, you focused on the human impact of that story.
Well, all of it's a human impact ultimately, whether you're a citizen or a corporate citizen, but absolutely, I mean, fundamentally you have to know your audience. When you're telling a story, you have to understand who your audience is, and that has been a big flaw, I think, in a lot of strategic communication or journalism, is the idea of a top-down, especially when it comes to these kinds of issues. It's very easy to feel guilty or shamed, or feel like, well, I'm not doing enough, or there's so much to do. How can I possibly do anything? I'm just going to give up. I really just need to feed the dog, or take care of my kids. So just to invite people to participate and to assure them that they have a place in this and that their role is important is, I think, is built into the idea of really listening to your audience.
These days on the internet, there seem to be thousands of websites with green content on how you can green your lifestyle. This week there's Green Your Thanksgiving. There was Green Your Halloween. You can green everything, and there's 10 ways to do it. But my sense is that they're not really creating that much impact. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
I think reaching people, an initial point of entry for someone, whether it's the Oprah Winfrey Show, the Martha Stewart Show, the Ellen Show, the Today Show, all of which I've been on talking about these issues, it's really important, because some people have not considered this at all. And repeat messaging, so people are like, oh yeah, wait, I heard about the bag thing before, and this is maybe the 3rd time I'm hearing it, and now I'm actually going to remember, and now I'm going to actually get a bag, is extremely important, because the people who are hearing those messages are not just everyday citizens. They are our legislators, they are business people, we are a host of things. We are, we exist in this sort of multitude, and I think that's one thing that is challenging for people trying to deliver these messages is we want to deliver it to the business community, and we want to deliver it to the faith community, and we want to deliver it to educators. And it's like, well, sometimes you're all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's important that you hear the message in different ways, because maybe one will resonate. And I think it's important that you hear it a number of times and you recognize this exists on a continuum, and not everyone will be perhaps where you are on the continuum or where I am. I certainly, as a messenger, I have started to grow very impatient with the very early information, because I want people to get it, impatience. I want, change your light bulbs already, let's talk about, so we can talk about these other things. But I do think those small steps are very important and are a key point of entry for people and for companies. Sometimes it really does just start with changing the light bulbs and then seeing the difference on your energy bill to incent you to do more. So I don't want to denigrate or disregard that, but I think it is essential that we continue to go further and explore what this means. And if we stop with eco-efficiencies, I think we've missed a tremendous part of this equation, which is, it's not just about natural resources, it's about human resources and how we treat each other. And in an era of globalization, in a time when we are all feeling a financial pinch of some sort or the other, I think it's crucial that we take care of each other. And I really feel that sustainability is a key way to do that.